class. Thank you for joining us at various channel, and I'd like to start with the singing a song from a spiritual word. It's called Jai Radha Madhav. So we'll sing Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for this exciting Wednesday evening class or session. So the agenda is that we'll start with Mangalacharan prayers to evoke the auspiciousness on this class, and then after that will read one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. There's a program called Chat, chapter a day, and we are currently in chapter 9. So we will all together do Chat. And then after that, we have Narsimha Chaturdasi coming next month. So in preparation of that, I thought let's go through some of the pastime of Lord Narsimha Dev, if you all agree. So let's start with the most important and auspicious. I offer my humble obeisances to my spiritual master, by whose causeless mercy I am I'm here to present this class today. So let's read Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakhanvitamsha नमः ओम हे कृष्ण नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् हरे कृष्णा so thank you Prabhu for presenting the slides. So we'll I think I'll present so that we can go to. Let me share my screen. So we will as I will read the Bhagavad Gita chapter 9. Hare Krishna. So yeah, if Prabhu, you will like to also read, you're most welcome.
Yeah, sure. Let me know, Prabhu.
Yeah, we can both read five verses.
Yeah.
So chapter 9 is the most confidential knowledge or Raj Vidya. So let's read together. This chapter will start with text 1 and all the way go till text 34. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjun, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And yet, everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. Yes, Prabhu, you can.
Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. O Dhananjay, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again.
Thank you, Ashray Madhav Prabhu.
Mhm.
So, 11. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic view. In that diluted condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second as diverse in many and in the universal form. Yes, Ashram Madhavu.
But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place, and the eternal seed. O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Somaju, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights.
Thank you, Ashram Madhavu. Saurabh, bro, welcome. I'm not sure if you're in condition of reading, but if you are, you're most welcome to read. But yeah, if you can jump in anytime, whenever you like. When they 21, when they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Those who are devotee of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifice. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Those who worship the demigod will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestor go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. So, Hare Krishna. Ashramada Prabhu.
26, Prabhu.
Yes.
If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me, in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly, because he is properly situated in his determination.
Thank you, Ashramada Prabhu. He quickly becomes righteous and attain lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Sudras, workers, can attain the supreme destination. How much more this is so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Last one, engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me, being completely absorbed in me. Surely you will come to me. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So this we've finished one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's very auspicious, and there's so much benediction has been given in the Shastra to read just one chapter of Bhagavad. Not is just it's a lot. If you can get our 5 to 10 minutes every day and read one chapter of Bhagavad Gita, either the same chapter or in English or in Sanskrit or sorry, what I mean the translations or in the Sanskrit the verses is equally or both is very very beneficial in one of the very important practice as a spiritual practitioner all of us can take. Bhagavad Gita is none other than the words of God, our Lord Krishna, and you can see that when we went through this chapter, um, so many commonsensical advice Krishna gives, and if we just take wholeheartedly that instruction, we will be be definitely happy situated not only in this life but beyond this life too. And that is the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita, that is a manual, is compared to the manual that comes with anything, like whenever we buy any items, TV or fridge or any electronic or any bike, there is a manual comes. By reading that manual, one can know how to best operate the machines, or nowadays whatever you can see the YouTube. So this when we get this human body, and it can be in various species, like we know that human forms, and there are so many animal form, aquatic form, whatever human form, whatever body people may get, this manual comes as a Bhagavad Gita, and especially in the human form, one can take the best advantage of these teachings of Bhagavad Gita and perfect our life and achieve the purpose of life. So, having said that, so we'll move to the, if anything, Ashramada Prabhu, if any verses that caught your attention, you like to speak, or any other devotees, you are most welcome to comment. Any questions or any reflections or anything?
Prabhu, actually, the first verse caught my
Mhm.
attention is
Oh.
because we often, when we see someone else more powerful, more famous than us, right? It's
Hmm.
natural, at least that's my tendency, right? I become envious, why he has it,
Hmm.
I don't have it, right? But that confidential knowledge, the first qualification is we should not be envious. If we have a tendency to become envious, then sometimes we may become envious of Krishna also. And if we are envious of others, actually, if you look at it, we are envious of Krishna, because everything others are getting is because of Krishna's, benedictions only. So if you're envious of others, then you're envious of Krishna also. So that is the first qualification, I think, to get the confidential knowledge. So Krishna is saying in the first verse. So that
Uh,
caught my attention.
yeah, Sri Bhagwan Vacha, idam tute guyatamam pravakshami anusuyave jnanam vijnanam sahitam yajñatva mukhyase subhat. Um, so he says that idam tute guyatamam pravakshami anusuyave. That's the word. Anyway, I know, Prabhu, it's not you, but I think you're saying about the conditioned souls who get envious, and there's such a nice, apt analogy that you have given. That how we have, the first qualification is that to be non-envious, because when we are envious, we don't want to hear from anyone or superior or anyone for that matter. So that's the first qualification that Krishna says, Anusuyavis, Jnana Vijnana Sahitam. And then he's telling that I'll give you the Jnana and Vijnana, Jaj Gyatva Mukti. So by knowing which, you'll get to the liberation. So thank you. Yeah, that's a very nice recollection. Yeah.
Good.
And yeah, I think my attention caught is the third verse. Let me just go. I remember the third verse. Uh, yeah. So third verse, Krishna says that those who are not faithful in devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. So, how much is importance to be faithful to the teachings? Because one may just learn, one may just verbally know the things, but until unless one follows faithfully, there is a very rare chance that we can get our results. So I like the word that Krishna word, not faithful in the social service cannot attend me. So we have to be faithful. Asraddhadhana, the Sanskrit word is used, Sraddhadhana, Ashraddhadhana. Shraddha is like a Sanskrit word which is made of Sraddh, and Dha is like an active verb. Shrad means the heart, where we are placing our heart. So Shraddha, Dha is like putting somewhere. So where we are putting our heart. So that's what is Krishna is saying, that if you're not putting our heart in Krishna and we are putting our heart in so many other things in this material world, that is going to bring us back down in this material world. But if we put our whole heart in Krishna, or our, then we'll reach to the Krishna's abode. So that was my reflection. So let's go. We have very exciting. The next festival is coming, is Narasimha Chaturdasi. I believe so. That is on 22nd of May, and we'll celebrate in our ISKCON of Silicon Valley Temple. We have one of the rarest Lord Narasimhadev, Lakshmi Narasimhadev deities with, and so we'll celebrate. So I do remember our in my initial days how we used to have like a whole we used to read whole seventh canto from chapter 1 till all the way till chapter 9 and beyond, because the canto 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam is where the pastimes of Narsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj has given. But if we carefully examine, actually the much of the content of Canto 7 is about Prahlad Maharaj. If we see that only in the ninth chapter, it's like first eight chapter is more. If you see the hero of the whole canto is Prahlad Maharaj, and Narsimhadev appeared in the few verses in the ninth chapter and tenth chapter. He gave benediction to Prahlad Maharaj. Uh, but that's what Bhagavatam is saying. Bhagavat, like how it is glorifying the devotee of Krishna, and Prahlad Maharaj is the one who had that the verse that I was telling, Asraddhana. He was the complete Shraddha. He was the opposite Shraddha. He has put his faith, though he was a 5-year-old boy, and so that is such a one of the very important characters, or very important pastimes in the Srimad Bhagavatam is of Prahlad Maharaj. To see when we read and hear more and more about Prahlad Maharaj, we can ourselves have more determination and see that bhakti can't be stopped by the situation. Here we can see that the most opposite thing happened. Like Prahlad Maharaj was a saintly son of a demonic king. Like his father was the one of the greatest demon, and um, sometime one may be blocked by thinking so many things in our mind, and it's mostly the mind is the what eliminating factor, that I can't perform bhakti for XYZ reason. It XYZ can be anything. um, but here when we see that, I'm sure that we are not even an iota in the situation what Prahlad Maharaj was there, that he was surrounded, his all association was with Asuras. His father was the greatest demon. His father sent him to the great to the not to the like the greatest prestigious college, but the college where it is taught more politics and more asuric thing, that how to become a great politician or how to become a great asuras. But that was his determination, that Prahlad Maharaj didn't even moved by inch by his devotional service. And then actually in the sixth chapter is described that how Prahlad Maharaj, when sixth or seventh chapter or fifth, I don't know, I don't recollect exactly, but it is described like how when Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb, when Hiranyakasipu went to the austerity, and Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother Kayadhu, the demigod, they already were afraid of so much of Hiranyakasipu, and then they know that okay, now if Hiranyakasipu is such a big demon, it might the biggest demon will born from the Kayadhu. So what they were trying, they were trying to hijack, kidnap the his mother Kayadu, and trying to kill the Prahlad Maharaj. But then Narad Muni, who is the Trikalagya, who knows who knows that no, this is going to be a great devotee, he saves actually Kayadu, and he takes her to his hermitage, and instruct in the knowledge of Bhagavatam, and is there where when the same question asked by the Prahlad Maharaj by his schoolmates in the Sunday Namarka. Hey Prahlad, how did you hear? How did you got this knowledge? And then Prahlad Maharaj with Joyce told about this story, that how he was so fortunate that he learned all this while he was in the womb of his mother. And then he continued, and then actually in the ninth chapter, if the Bhagavatam where okay, so then he learned, and then once actually we had little sort of time, so we don't have I'm just telling in the little summary, so that when we reach to the ninth chapter which we want to read together today, I'm just giving a little bit prologue. So basically then then he actually taught all his classmates to how to become Krishna consciousness, and he's just merely a 5-year-old boy, and then he's teaching his classmates how to be Krishna consciousness. And then when his father seeing that, he actually scolds his teachers, Prahlad Maharaj teachers. Hey, what you're teaching my son? Because when the son came back to his home after the school, and his father asked, "Hey, Prahlad, what did you learn in your school?" So he was he was thinking that Prahlad Maharaj might tell that okay, how to be a politician, how to do this Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed, and all this the tactics. But then he told that Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dashyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsar Pita Pumso Bhaktischa Vanaya Lakshana. So he's saying that how this nine process Navada Bhakti starts with Sravanam Kirtanam. by hearing and chanting, by remembering, by worshipping, by serving, and and all these are the nine processes of bhakti. And then his father got shocked and he told that you should also take this devotional service. Oh, great demon. He actually addresses his father as Asuri. Oh, the greatest of the demon. Please take this this Krishna consciousness. Mahiyasam yad padarajobhisekam niskinchana namna viniti avad. Unless you smeared your body with the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees, there is no possibility of you to get knowledge. And actually, we know actually in the beginning of the chapter, like how the story starts when the Hiranyakasipu, he has a brother Hiranyaksh, and Hiranyaksh got killed by Varahadev. And when it got killed, Hiranyakasipu was so angry. He was so angry that who killed my brother? And he was in taking wanted to take a revenge and wanted to kill his kill Vishnu, and he was trying to search everywhere Vishnu, and so that enmity was always in his heart against Vishnu. And then we know that how he after that he went for this tapasya or austerity to the forest, and he was just standing on the tip of the toe of his feet and trying to please Brahmaji by his austerity. And when Brahmaji came, he became pleased by his severe austerity. He asked various boons like the various insurances that we have, all the different kinds of insurance, life insurance, whether it's a home insurance, earthquake insurance, money insurance, whatever different kind of insurance. So he also tried to cover him that he doesn't get killed. Like he told that I should not get be killed in the day or in the night. Actually, no. Before that, he asked that, "Hey, Brahmaji, can you please make me immortal?" And Brahmaji told that I am not immortal. I had to. My lifetime is 311 trillion, and I had to also die. So how can I make you immortal? So then he wanted to devise a method that he wanted to cover all the situation, whether I don't die in the day or in the night, neither by a man, neither by the animal, nor in the sky, nor in the land, and neither by any weapons, neither by any. So he made all the different arrangements that he could have think of, and then Brahma told Tathastu. And then, as soon as he got the boon, he started his atrocities all over the world. He started putting the fire in the field and stopping all the sacrifices and everything. And then this Prahlad Maharaj born, and then all the other thing that I told you. So now fast forward, then when when Hiranyakasipu became frustrated by his son's response, he wanted to kill him. He told his attendants that throw this boy, this impotent boy, from the hill. And so the people, his soldiers, try to throw him from the hill. And but then something he didn't happen to anything to him because he had so much faith. He was all survived through, even though he was got thrown. He was put into the snake's room. He was given the poison, and also his so many ways tried to kill. So, but somehow Prahlad Maharaj was saved by Krishna. He says, right, Mare Krishna Rakhe ke, and Rakhe Krishna Mare ke. Like if someone is protected by Krishna, no one can kill him. And if someone is not protected by, then nothing can protect someone. So, and in the similar line, also in the Bhagavatam, in the ninth chapter, we will see that one of the very famous verse where Prahlad Maharaj says, Balasya neha saranam pitrao narsimha nartasya chagadamudanvati majjatao no taptasya tat pradhi vidhir ya ihan cheshtas vibhot anubhritam tadupekshita. How boat in the water can't save the drowning man, or not the medicine merely can't save a suffering patient, or a parents effort can't just save a child. Similarly, Krishna, if unless it's your blessings comes into any people's life, nothing can save him. So in the same way that because Krishna, his Prahlad Maharaj was protected because of his Shraddha that he had on Krishna, and he always got protected. And at last, when his father asked, "Hey, where is your Vishnu? Where is your Krishna? Is he everywhere? Where is he?" So he told that Prahlad Maharaj told innocently, "He is everywhere, my papa, my dear father." And then I don't know if he told my dear father. I had to check, but yeah, he told that yeah, he's everywhere. And then he asked, so he impudently he became so angry on him, and he told that he saw a pillar, and he told, "Is your Lord inside this pillar also?" And Prahlad Maharaj told, yes, he's inside pillar also. So Hiranyakasipu took a big hit through the club into the pillar, and then the Lord Nrsimhadev appeared. Jai Lord Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki Jai. He appeared in a very ferocious mood, and it's called Ugra Nrsimha view, where it's like he is a half man and half lion, and he's roaring. By his roaring, like whole world is getting scared except the devotees, and is like a frowning his mane, and is a is a very ferocious form. And then as soon as saw Hiranyakasipu started fighting with Narasimhadev, and they had a big fight. And then the demigods were so cheering, because then when they saw that Hiranyakasipu and is getting he's going to get lost by the Hiranyakasipu, by the Narasimha, they were all cheering. And suddenly, what happened? Like, suppose sometime what happened? They say there's a cat, and then the kitten is. Sometimes there's a fight between cat and the rat, and then rat suppose sometime slips from the mouth, and so similar thing happened, that once Hiranyakasipu got loosened by the Narasimhadev, and then they all got afraid. Oh no! It seems that he will not get killed by killed by that. Now he has seen that we are all shouting for the victory of Narasimha Dev, so he'll have great enmity. And that's what was the faith of the demigods were. They don't have that complete faith. And that's what in our material world, we also go through so many situations in our life, and we may not have that complete faith, especially when we are getting tested time in different tribulations and trials that we are put into. We may not have that faith. No, Krishna will avasya rakshabe Krishna, or that Krishna is always protecting me. Krishna is always protecting every living entity. He's the best well-wisher. He's the Suhrit. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that in the fifth chapter, verse number 29, that Suhrida Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mam Santrikshati. I am the Suhrida Sar, Suhrid. Suhrid means the best friend, best well-wisher, best friend of every living entity. And so until we have that faith that yes, Krishna is protecting me. And that's what when it says in the many scriptures, especially in the Bible, when so Bible in the Jesus Christ says his disciple that, hey, go out. He told his disciples to go out and check in the field how the birds are getting fed, how everyone is so maintained properly in the world, and it's all done by the Krishna's arrangement. So then anyway, the story continues that finally Lord Nrsimhadev, like as he has Hiranyakasipu has taken all the woes, what he did, he actually took the Hiranyakasipu in his lap, because that was not in the sky, neither in the earth. Then he was in the door, neither inside the home, neither outside the home, and it was at dusk, neither night, neither evening, neither the night, neither the morning. And then he killed through, and he actually pierced through his nails. He had a big nails, and he pierced the from the heart, all the intestine and everything was coming out, and he's garlanded himself by the Hiranyakasipu. He covered all the boons that he has Brahma has given, and still he could kill him. Um, so that is the story. And now when Hiranyakasipu get killed, actually everyone is frightened. All Brahmaji and Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi has never seen her husband such a ferocious form, and everyone is afraid, and they're all fearing. So this chapter comes, ninth chapter, which is one of the very important chapter in Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada has actually many classes he has given on this chapter, and he used to many time recite these verses. So one of the goal in ISV is to memorize these verses from verse number 7 to verse number 50 is get the 44. So many devotees doing their best to remember these verses. And so I was thinking we'll just read few of the introduction today, and see if we can start few verses. We'll go and read few verses from this chapter. I hope you like the introduction, and then let's go through the Prahlad. So as I was telling, this chapter 9 of the 7th canto. Prahlad pacifies Lord Narasimha Dev with prayers. So I hope the context was clear. So let's read. Ashram Madhav, you like to read, or anyone else?
I can read from.
Okay, maybe yeah, we can read one
So,
paragraph. Yeah.
so from where? As related in this chapter from there,
Yes,
right?
yes. Mhm.
As related in this chapter, Prahlad Maharaj, following the order of Lord Brahma, pacified the Lord when the Lord was extremely angry after having killed Hiranyakashipu. After Hiranyakashipu was killed, the Lord continued to be very angry, and the demigods headed by Lord Brahma could not pacify him. Even Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the constant companion of Narayan, could not dare come before Lord Nishimadev. Then Lord Brahma asked Prahlad Maharaj to go forward and pacify the Lord's anger. Sorry. Prahlad Maharaj, being confident of the affection of his master, Lord Nishimadev, was not afraid at all. He very gravely appeared before the Lord's lotus feet and offered him respectful obeisances. Lord Nishimadev, being very much affectionate toward Prahlad Maharaj, put his hand on Prahlada's head. And because of being personally touched by the Lord, Prahlad Maharaj immediately achieved Brahmagyan, spiritual knowledge. Thus he offered his prayers to the Lord in full spiritual knowledge and full devotional ecstasy. The instructions given by Prahlad Maharaj in the form of his prayers are as follows.
Thank you.
Prahlad said, I am not proud of being able to offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I simply take shelter of the mercy of the Lord, for without devotion one cannot appease him. One cannot please the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by dint of high parentage or great opulence, learning, austerity, penance, or mystic power. Indeed, these are never pleasing to the Supreme Lord, for nothing can please him but pure devotional service. Even if a non-devotee is a Brahmana qualified with the 12 Brahminical symptoms, he cannot be very dear to the Lord. Whereas if a person born in a family of dog eaters is a devotee, the Lord can accept his prayers. The Lord does not need anyone's prayers, but if a devotee offers his prayers to the Lord, the devotee benefits greatly. Ignorant persons born in low families, therefore, can sincerely offer heartfelt prayers to the Lord, and the Lord will accept them. As soon as one offers his prayers to the Lord, he is immediately situated on the Brahman platform.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hmm?
So, thank you, Ashramada Prabhu. So, it's yeah, you can see now Prabhupada started describing the prayers, and it's such a wonderful that he says that um, like nothing great opulence, learning, austerities, penances are needed to please the Supreme Lord. But if we have just pure devotional service, he can be get pleased, because if you see the starting, it says like sorry, Brahmaji, Lakshmi, everyone was afraid, and Brahmaji kind of pushed forward Prahlad Maharaj, because Narasimha came because of yours. You can only pacify him, and he's put forward, and now Prahlad Maharaj is trying to reason out that Brahma Daya Suragana Munayotha Siddha Satvai Khatan Gatayo Vachasam Pravahe. Like this Brahma Adi, they are all in the pure mode of goodness. If they are not sattva katan gateyo vachasam pravahe naradhitum purugunair adhunapi pipru. So he's saying that if they have like extreme verses, if they cannot satisfy the Prahlad Narasimha, then who am I? Who am I? And then he start describing about this all the different qualities. मन्ने धना विजन रूप तपा श्रुतोजस तेजा प्रभाव बल पौरुष बुद्धि योगा नाराधनाय bhavanti parasya pumso bhaktya tutosa bhagwan gajayodhapaya. So then he remembers how the Gajendra, so there is a very famous story in the Gajendra in the eighth canto, who was an animal, and and that is a very stark reality that Bhagavatam says that even an animal can please the Krishna because of his sincere prayers. So like in very short, Gajendra was in danger. Gajendra was a king of elephant, and once he was taking bath, and in his leg, he was caught by a crocodile. And when he was caught by a crocodile, he was trying to do his best to get it out, but nothing was working. So that at last he remembered the prayers that he has learned in his previous life as King Indradyumna. And somehow by the by the time that he got a curse and he has to take the body of an elephant, but he still he remembered the prayers. And Prabhupada's mentioned in the purport that how these prayers are so powerful, and that's what he recommend all his students to remember the prayers like Brahma Samhita, these prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, so that we always carry forward these prayers in our memory, wherever we are, or if you have to take another body, or even if you go to spiritual world, doesn't matter, but these prayers will be with us. So he remembered. So Prahlad Maharaj is remembering that if Gajendra can satisfy, he was just a mere elephant. Because of his sincere devotion, sincere Shraddha. His Shraddha was fixed on Krishna, and he was not diverted. So then he remembered that, yeah, if he can satisfy, then why not I can satisfy? And then he says that actually, Krishna, you don't need any, like you are not looking for the prayers. Navatvana Prabhurayam Nijalabha Purno. And he gives the example of a mirror, that when someone is decorated, his reflection is also seen to be decorated. Similarly, if someone is doing devotional service, actually is for his own benefit. It's not that the mirror needs some service or something. Similarly, Krishna doesn't need. Krishna is self-satisfied. Naivatmana Prabhu Ayam Nij Labh Purno. Purno. He is Purna. He doesn't need anyone's service. But then if someone is serving, then it is for his own benefit. And then he says that Tasmadaham Vigata Viklava Iswarasya. Okay, I will do my best to satisfy the Lord. Tasmadaham Vigata Viklava Iswarasya Sarvatmana Mahigrinam Yatha Manisham. Nicho Jaya Guna Visarga Manu Pravishta Puyet Ye Nahi Puman Anuvarnitena. Though I am a low born, but I'll do my best to pray to Narsimhadev. And that's what is the verse number 12 in the this. So now let's continue to the next verse, next paragraph. Lord Narsimhadev appeared for the benefit of all human society, not only for Prahlad's personal benefit. The fierce form of Lord Narsimhadev may appear most awful to a non-devotee, but to the devotee of the Lord is always affectionate, as he is in other forms. So it's not that because he was in the form of Narsimhadev is definitely is awful to devotee, but to devotee is always affectionate, whether it's whatever form it comes. That is always beautiful. Like even Lord Krishna, he came as a Varaha form, as a form of hog. In material world, that form may be not so as pleasing, but when Krishna comes, that form is the most beautiful form. So conditional life in the material world is activity. Indeed, devotee is not afraid of anything else. Fear of material existence is due to false ego. Therefore, the ultimate goal of life for every living entity is to attain the position of being servant of the Lord. So this is the very nice instruction, that if when we are servant of the Lord, actually we don't have to be afraid of this material world, material existence. Yes, we have fear of material existence due to false ego, as Prabhupada is saying here, that false ego or ahamkar, that I am the everyone's doer. If whatever happen is like I can do whatever I want in my life, and I am the so then when that aham or ahamkar comes, rather than being thinking that okay, I am a servant of God, and I'll do my best duty, whatever I can do to whatever Krishna has allocated, but in always in consciousness that I'm doing this for the service of the Krishna and his devotees. That is the best position. The miserable condition of the living entity in this material world can be remedied only by the mercy of the Lord. Although there are so-called material protectors like Lord Brahma and other demigods, or even one's own father, they are unable to do anything if one is neglected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the verse that I was quoting before, the medicine and the boat. However, one who has fully taken shelter of the Lord's lotus feet can be saved from the onslaught of material nature. Therefore, every living entity should be unattracted by material so-called happiness and should take shelter of the Lord by all means. This is the mission of human life. So what is the mission of human life? That every living entity should be unattracted by the material so-called happiness. And actually in the later in the verse, verse number 25, Prahlad Maharaj says that Kutra sisa suti sukham gateshni rupa vedam kalevaram se sarujam viroha. So he says that how this happiness is like a Kutra sisa. What benediction is there in this material happiness? This is exactly like a mirage. Mirage is like in the desert when there is a in the desert when we see right sometime, or even in the road when it's a hot road, we see that there is a water in the road, but as we go close we never reach to that water. Or in the desert, same thing, like people think that in the far there is a water, but when they approach there is no water. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj says Kutra Sisa Shruti Sukham, This is Shruti Sukha. Shruti Sukha is just hearing, on only happiness in hearing. That is not actual happiness. Shruti Sukha, Mrikatrishni Rupa, Kvedam Kalevaram Asesa Rujam Viruha. He says that this body is just inherently source of all the diseases. Kvedam Kalevaram Asesa Rujam Viruha. So he's telling that, and let's continue. That is a mission of human life. To be attracted by sense gratification is simply foolish. Whether one is a devotee of the Lord or is a non-devotee does not depend upon one's birth in a high or low family. Even Lord Brahma and the goddess of fortune cannot achieve the full favor of the Lord, whereas a devotee can very easily attend such devotional service. So it says that in the verses in the follows that verse, that how actually Lord Nrsimhadev put the hand, kar, on the on the on the on the head of Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj recall that, okay, what a great mercy I have got. I don't have any qualification that you have put your hand on me. And that's what he's saying, that even Lord Brahma and Goddess of Fortune has not that favor that to get the lotus hand of the Lord, cannot achieve the full favor of the Lord, whereas a devotee can very easily attend such devotional service. The Lord mercies is bestowed equally upon everyone, regardless of whether one is high or low. And that is very, very important. Actually, that is what the seventh canto starts with, that question that I believe so Parikshit, sorry, Yudhishthir Maharaj asked to Narad Muni, when he says that how the demons are getting killed and then devotees are getting saved. And then he asked this important question, isn't it that is partiality, that Krishna is killing someone and then he's saving someone? It's like favoritism, like we say in the companies, like, okay, some manager is favoring someone and some hating someone. So isn't it like the similar, like Lord is also doing the same kind of things? But then Narad Muni actually start describing the this incidents, and then before that he actually clarifies, no, actually it's not like that. It's not like that. Is Krishna is doing favor. It is just like a, suppose there is a rain, and actually whether it's a kill or whether they are saved, they both are equally get benefited. As we know that if someone is getting killed by Krishna, they also get liberated, or whether they are saved, they are already protected. So, and also it is said that, like, if suppose there is a rain and someone want to, or sub, someone not rain, suppose there is a light and someone just want to remain in the darkness. Suppose there is a um, light outside the home, and suppose someone doesn't want to go out and take the benefit, so it is not the son's disgrace that if someone want to not get the mercy, is the person who doesn't want to take it, is his uh, his ignorance that he's not able to take. Similarly, Krishna is not saying that you be my enemy or you my friend. He's equally, he just reciprocate. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyam mam vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. So he says in Bhagavad Gita that ye yatha mam prapadyante. Prapadyante means one who surrenders accordingly. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyam. Accordingly, like one who approach me, I reward them accordingly. So Krishna is like neutral. He's saying that I'm not, and that's what he says very boldly in the ninth chapter, what we read today. Samaham sarva bhutesu name dvesyosti na priya ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite tesu chapyaham. I'm equal to both. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveso asti na priya. Neither someone is dves or neither, and I don't hate, neither I favor anyone. But he says that, like, as a as a father, right? He's equally disposed toward everyone, but he has some special attention toward his children because of the children's reciprocation. So he similarly says, "Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mai te tesu chapyam." But if someone specially worship me, I also reciprocate him. So he's saying that I'm neutral, but if someone is, so that's what you can see, that is because it's a personality. It's not like impersonal feature or light. It's Krishna is person and he has a heart, and he's actually giving us our heart. If someone gives heart to Krishna, then he gives multiple times, as we say, right? If we take one if we take one step toward Krishna, Krishna takes 10 step. And actually he's waiting. He's just waiting for us to turn towards him. And that's what is the very famous prayers of Gajendra in the 8th canto, 3rd chapter, where he says that word alalaya, that I think is 17th verse, where he is actually telling that how you're not lazy in delivering people. It's not that, okay, you did some job and then you have to actually inform your boss that, hey, this, yeah, I did this job. You have to prove yourself and everything. And then he has to actually, if you're lucky enough that he might promote you or he might appreciate you, that considering, although there are so many other factors that has to be like really aligned. Um, I don't want to get into that, but here Krishna is not doing all that thing. He's just saying that if someone is sincere and someone is doing his level best, Krishna is pleased with that endeavor, and that is a difference. So let's continue. Because Prahlad Maharaj was blessed by Narad Muni. So that's what the story I was describing earlier. Prahlad became a great devotee. The Lord always saves the devotee from impersonalist and voidist. The Lord is present in everyone's heart as the super soul to give the living being protection and all benefits. And where does we know that? The Lord is present in everyone's heart as the super soul to give the living being protection and all benefits. Can someone say where is that verse has been mentioned? Or any similar verse if someone recollects? I believe so.
Verse, but I think his summary saying Hridayesha Arjuna Tishtati.
Yeah, correct. Thank you, Ashramada bro. Hridaya Arjuna Tishtati Brahmyan Bhutani Yantarvani Maya. I am seated in everyone's heart, and actually I am moving. That's what that verse says. Super soul to give the living being protection and all benefit. Does the Lord act sometime as the killer and sometime as the protector? One should not accuse the Lord for any discrepancies. It is His plan that we see varieties of life within this material world. All of them are ultimately His mercy. Although the entire cosmic manifestation is non-different, the material world is nonetheless different from the spiritual world. Only by the mercy. So it's very nice verse. Although the entire cosmic manifestation is non-different, the material world is nonetheless different from the spiritual world. And that's what we saw in the today's ninth chapter when we were reading Bhagavad Gita, verse number 4 and 5. Krishna specifically says that Mai te tesu chap, the third and fourth verses, sorry, 1 minute. The third verse is, sorry, the fourth and the fifth verses, he very explicitly says the same thing that it's not that spiritual and material all are same. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina matsthani sarvabhutani na chaham te svasthita na cha masthani bhutani pasyame yogam aishwaram bhu. And the next verse, the bhuta vrinacha bhutastu mamatma bhuta bhavana, which is exactly this what Prabhupada is saying here. Although the entire cosmic manifestation is non-different, the material world is nonetheless different from the spiritual world. Only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord can one understand how the wonderful material nature acts. Only by the mercy of Supreme Lord. Otherwise, most of the times, what if you see the outside world is there are so many theories are prominent, like chance theory or the Big Bang theory. How this word came is just from a Big Bang. There was a big blast happen, and then this word is kind of came from that Big Bang. Or chance is this word came by chance. But as we can see in our own experience in this material world, that nothing comes beautiful by a by explosion. If suppose there's some explosion comes, you can't say that this beautiful whatever creation you see outside your you that come by explosion. There is some mind, there is some perfect designer is there who creates that, whether it's a home, whether it's a plant, or anything for that matter, whether it's a bike or whether it's anything you take in this material world. So everything is, but that understanding we needs the mercy of the Lord. And that mercy of the Lord is actually this form of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's what Krishna says, Maya anukule nanabhesvate ritam puman bhavat. So he says that these are the favorable bridges that Krishna is giving in the form of the scriptures. It's a very famous words in the 11th canto where Krishna is giving instructing to Uddhav ji and is saying that Nideyamadyam sulabham sudallabham plavam sukul pravam sukalpam guru karnadharam mayanukule nabhesvate ritam puman bhavabdhim na taret sa atmaha. So Krishna Bhagavan is saying that Hridayam Adyam Sulabham Sudurlabham. This human body, one which I obtained Sulabham Sudurlabham, very easily. Well, it seems very easily, but it's Sudurlabham. Why? Because it's by rotating through the different species, 8.4 million species, Krishna has given us the chance to fulfill our all desires in this different 8.4 million species and do whatever we want to do. And then at finally when we are evolved, actually there is evolution is happening, and but it's not the evolution of body, but it's evolution of consciousness. That's what the Vedic text teaches us, that the consciousness is evolving. Like in the lowest of the consciousness is the plant, which are living entities, but they have very lower of consciousness. Beyond that is the animals, and then beyond animals is the human form, which is the highest consciousness in this world. So Plavam Sukulpam, and this boat, this human body is like a boat which we can cross through this material world. And who is the captain of this boat is the Guru Karnadharam. The spiritual master is the captain of this boat. And this favorable bridges, as I was telling, this scriptures or the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam are the favorable bridges, that kind of a, the boat can easily sail in the ocean. So so that is the mercy of the Supreme Lord. One can understand how the wonderful material nature acts. For example, although Lord Brahma appeared from the lotus seed that had grown from the abdomen of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, he could not understand what to do after his appearance. He was attracted by two demons. Sorry, he was attacked by two demons, Madhu and Katha, who took away Vedic knowledge. But the Lord killed them and entrusted to Lord Brahma the Vedic knowledge. Thus, the Lord appears in every millennium in the societies of the demigods, human beings, animals, sent, and aquatics. So, it's very important to understand that Krishna appeared in different millennium and in various form. Itham Nitiriya, Itham Nitiriya, Itham Nitiriya, Eva Jhasavatare. And that is a verse in 30th verse, I think so. There where Krishna, Prahlad Maharaj is saying that he appears in different form. And all such incarnations are meant to protect the devotees and kill the demons. But the killing and protecting does not reflect any sense of partiality on the part of the Supreme Lord. That's what I was trying to explain in the beginning. That is not reflect any partiality. The conditioned soul is always attracted by the external energy. So that is the conditioned soul's precarious situation in this material world. And it is said that it is like a Tathastha Sakti. There are three Saktis. There is internal energy of Krishna, there is external energy, and then there's a marginal energy. So internal energy of Krishna is like the Antrik Sakti. This material world is like a external energy. And the Jiva, which is in between. And the Acharyas gives the example like of a sand. Like you can see in the seashore, at the seashore, you'll see that some sand is just like weight, because the wave comes and it make it weight. Similarly, and so it is sometime wet, sometime it's dry, it's just in the border. Similarly, it says that it is explained in the Vishnu Puran that how Vishnu Sakti Para Prokta Kshetragya Tada Para Avidya Karma Sangagya Tritya Sakti Isyate, that how this living entity is actually in between the supreme energy and the material energy. But this is a very but the best part is that is also a part of the superior energy of Krishna, because we are all part and parcel of Krishna or the Supreme Lord. So, but by tendency, we are always attracted by the external energy. That is like our tendency to get attracted. Like if you see any stone, if you just take a stone, if you leave the stone, what it will do, whether it will go up or down, well, it will go down, because that is a gravitational force. We call it gravitational force, that is kind of pulling the stone down. But that is similarly by nature, conditioned souls like me is always attracted by the external energy. Therefore, he is subjected to the lust and greed. So now we are kind of double clicking. What is that means? That means attracted by external energy, because some may ask, okay, how does it matter? But then now we are trying to get to the symptoms. What are the symptoms of that? The symptoms are that this anarthas, anartha, unearth means that is useless, unearth. There is no earth in having them. Is there any earth to her having the lust and greed? I don't think so. There's no it's more is anartha is subjected to lust, greed, and he suffers under the condition of the material nature. And that's what Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita 17th chapter, Trividham Narakasedam Dwaram Nasanam Atmana Kama Krodhas Tatha Lobhas Tasmadeta Trayam Tajet. So he says that very emphatically that there are three gates to the hell. So what are the three gates to the hell? The three gates to the hell is lust, anger, and greed. Lust is that in like a inordinate, like insatiable desire to lord it over material nature, or lust, anger, trying anger every one of us know, and greed is trying to accumulate more and more and more and more beyond our quota that is allocated to us or that we can use in the service of God without any purpose. We're just trying to accumulate. And he so that are the three main enemies is explained. And he suffers under the condition of the material nature. The Lord's causeless mercy towards his devotee is the only means by which to get out of the material existence. Anyone engaged in glorifying the Lord's activity is always unafraid of this material world, whereas one who cannot glorify the Lord in that way is subjected to all lamentation. So here is a secret that Prabhupada is giving through the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. Anyone engaged in glorifying the Lord's activity is always unafraid of this material world. If you see that everyone is afraid. If you just go out, like there are four things it says that it is mentioned in the scripture that how ahar nidra bhaya maithunam cha saman etad pasubhi naranam dharmo hi tesam adhiko vishesho dharmen hina pasubhi samanam. That how this ahar nidra bhaya maithun, ahar means the eating, ahar nidra means sleeping, bhaya means the fear, maithun means the sex. These are the four activities that are common to both the man and animals. But dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharme nahina pashu samanam. That's why dharma, or what is our occupational activity, which occupational activity we are dharma in relation to the higher supreme Lord dharma. What is the dharma we are doing? Uh, that is what makes us specific, more different than the animals. And this fear is like a constant feature in this material world. We can see that like all other things, some teachers were explaining that how other things we may just do, like set certain time ahar, nidra also for limited time, mathun, but the bhai is like a constant feature. Bhai can be like always there constantly, as compared to other things that has been explained. And how this bhaya comes, because we are not glorifying the Lord's activity. And also it is very clearly mentioned in the 11th canto in the second chapter, where one of the Navayogendra says that bhayam dvitiya abhineveseta, bhayam dvitiya abhinivesita shyat isadapetasya viparyayo smriti tanmayaya tav bhajatam. So he says that how that bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshita syad, like when we are trying to absorb ourselves in dvitiya other than anything God, that causes the fear, and the solution is to turn away toward the spirit, turn towards the spiritual activities. So let's continue. Whereas one cannot glorify the Lord in that way is subjected to all lamentation. Those interested in silently worshipping the Lord, and that is now that towards the end of the Prahlad Maharaj prayers we are reaching towards, and we will see that what a great mood that Prahlad Maharaj has given. Those interested in silently worshipping the Lord in solitary place may be eligible for liberation themselves, but a pure devotee is always aggrieved to see others suffering. Is kind like what we say par dukh dukhi, like seeing the other people suffering, the person gets dukhi. But actually what happens, like I become happy, par dukh sukhi, I become happy by seeing other people suffering. But actually it should be opposite, that we should be aggrieved to see others suffering. Therefore, not caring for his own liberation, he always engages in preaching by glorifying the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj therefore had tried to deliver his class friend by preaching and had never remained silent. Although being silent, observing austerities and penances, learning the Vedic literature, undergoing ritualistic ceremonies, living in a solitary place, and performing japa and transcendental meditation are approved means of liberation. They are meant for non devotees or for the cheaters who want to live at the expense of others. A pure devotee, however, being freed from all such deceptive activities, is able to see the Lord face to face. So you can say it's like very, very Prahlad Maharaj prayers, like it takes us to the another level. How प्रायेण द्वैव मुनया स्वविमुक्तिकामा maunam charanti vijanena pararthanishta. So he says that like how the most of the time people are just worried about their own liberation. They don't care about the other people. And then, but what Prahlad Maharaj says that I want to go to the city and preach, like how he preached to his teach his students about this Krishna consciousness. And we are so lucky that the parampara that we are coming in, um, Brahma Madhva Gaudi Sampradaya, and to the current teacher, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all his disciples, they are all exactly following in the mood of Prahlad Maharaj. And how can we say that? Actually, it's very is one of the purport that Prabhupada gives is in the where he gives the definition of non-violence. I think it's in 13th chapter, if I remember correctly. 13th chapter. So, where it is amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa chantirarjavam. So it's like it describes the various qualities of what are the quality, what are the knowledge, element of knowledge, and then Krishna says that how this amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa chantirarjavam acharyopasanam socham sthiryamat vinigraha. So he says like different qualities, I think 19 or 21 in number. So it's one of the things is the ahimsa, and then mostly it takes as non-violence, like not actually physically harming anyone. But what Prabhupada gives the translation there actually of that word is actually when we are not actively preaching, we are doing ahimsa. If you are not actively in educating people about the Krishna consciousness or spiritual knowledge, we are performing ahimsa. And he gives an example. Suppose there is a big plague or big pandemic has happened, and suppose someone is doctor and he says that no, I'm not going to go and out and serve the people who are suffering. So it's kind of he's not doing his duty. Similarly, as we are a spiritual soul, our quality is to glorify the God. That's what we were seeing in the beginning in some of these verses, and that's what you can see that Prahlad. Uh, Chad, this is what exactly Srila Prabhupada encouraged all his students and his grandstand and all the generation going to come to share this knowledge because he was following the perfectly the mood of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, which is none other than the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where he says that Jare dekhe tare kaho Krishna upadesh amara kya hoy tara ei des. That wherever you go, wherever you see, please share this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. And by doing this, you'll do the great welfare activities. And that's what is the Srila Prabhupada encouraged, and that's what we can see that he was so much following in the mode of Srila Prahlad Maharaj, and that's why he was one of the very favorite prayers for him. The atomic theory of the composition of the cosmic manifestation is not factual. The Lord is the cause of everything, and therefore he is the cause of this creation. One should therefore always engage in devotional service by offering respectful obeisances to the Lord, offering prayers, working for the Lord, offering the Lord, worshipping the Lord in the temple, always remembering the Lord, and always hearing about his transcendental activities. Without these six kind of activity, one cannot attain to devotional service. So what are the six things he says? That always engage by offering respectful obeisances, offering prayers, working for the Lord, worshipping the Lord in the temple, always remembering the Lord, and always hearing about his transcendental activities. And we see the similarity in the Bhagavad Gita. Yat karosi yadasnasi yadasna yad juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya kurus tat kurushva madarpanam. So in the ninth chapter only, we just read that verse where Krishna is similarly saying. So we can see that how this all interrelated. Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. It is Bhagavad Gita is more elaborating the concepts of Bhagavatam is elaborating more concepts of Bhagavad Gita by the giving the examples of the great devotee of the Lord who manifested that great qualities. So this is the last paragraph. Prahlad Maharaj thus offered his prayers to the Supreme Lord, begging his mercy at every step. Lord Narasimhadev was specified Prahlad Maharaj's prayers and wanted to give him benedictions by which Prahlad could procure all kinds of material facilities. Prahlad Maharaj, however, was not misled by material facilities. Rather, he wanted to remain always a servant of the servant of the Lord. So at last, such a the ending happened when Narasimhadev asked Prahlad Maharaj, ask any benediction, whatever you want, I'll be giving. I am a Lord, ask anything. I am the Supreme Lord. And then Prahlad Maharaj says that Yadi dasya shime kaman varam tam varadar sabha kamana mida samroham bhavatastu vrine varam. Actually, before that, he asked that, okay, please liberate my father. So again, we will see that how he was always thinking about his father. It's not that though his father was against, but as we saw in this chapter, that how par dukha dukhi as a spiritual living entities, we are compassionate toward other living entities. What about our own father, mother, or relatives or friends? Why not? We are much more concerned. That doesn't mean that we start entangling, we start ourselves in engaging in the activities that is prohibited or that is against principles of Krishna consciousness. With, but having that compassionate heart in the that how we can always pray, and that's what Prahlad Maharaj showed that after once his father is killed, actually when Narasimhadev asked, he asked first thing that please liberate my father, and Prahlad Maharaj said he's already liberated because he's killed by me. And second thing, actually, he asked, Yadi Dasa se me kaman varam tum varadar sabha. Oh Krishna, if you want Narasimhadev, if any word that you want to give, varam tum varadar sabha, kama nam hida samroham. Let me there whatever in my heart, let there be no material desires. And that is the actual problem in this material world. There's only one problem, and that is the material desires. That material desire, kama nam hida samroham bhavatastu vinevaram, if at all. And it's such a instructive prayer for all of us, that how what is the benediction that we should ask, that let there be no material desire, because that material desire is the cause of all the sufferings in this world, all the so as his famous things goes, right, that um, that miseries will come in this material world, whatever you are, whoever you are, whatever position you are. The miseries is unavoidable, but suffering is optional. Suffering is what actually we are hanged. Suffer, if you see the root word of suffer, is like we are hanging around to our petty things or the material desires or we are grabbing on the things, and that is making us suffer, whether it's happiness, whether it's sadness, or whether it's unhappiness. So that suffering is optional, that we don't have to get suffer in this material world by having a consciousness beyond this material world. So that is what the Prahlad Maharaj's prayers. So in interest of time, maybe we'll read some prayers. We still have 15 minutes. Definitely, let's read some of the prayers. So to just see the highest form of poetry, and not just poetry, highest form of devotion. So it starts one verse before when Prahlad Maharaj says, Hasta se dhari mekagra manasa susamahita prema gadgadaya vacha tanyasta hridaye kshana. Prahlad Maharaj fixed his mind and sight upon Lord Narasimha Dev with full attention in complete trance. With a fixed mind, he began to offer prayers in love with a faltering voice. So it's very, very instructive that how he fixed his mind. And it's very, very important for us, for whatever activity we do, any activity, unless we fix our mind, we will not get the complete satisfaction, neither will get the complete results out of that, unless we fixed our mind. And that's what Krishna is asking. Krishna is giving us that instructions in Bhagavad Gita, that man manama bhad bhakto, fix your mind on me. Or like tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manushmara yuddhacha. You remember me, whatever you are doing. We have to fix our mind on Krishna and do. So we have to fix our mind, and he offers faltering voice. So Shri Praharaduvacha Brahmadaya Suragana Munayotha Siddha Satvai Katan Gatayo Vachasam Pravahe नाराधितुं पुरुगुणैरधुनापि पिप्रो किं तोष्णुमर्हति समे हरिरुग्रजाते. Prahlad Maharaj prayed, how it is possible for me, who have been born in a family of asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and all the saintly persons could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words. Although such persons are very qualified, being in the mode of goodness, then what is to be said of me? I am not at all qualified. मन्ये धनाभिजनरूपतपाश्रुतोजस्तेजा प्रभावबलपौरुषबुद्धियोगा नाराधनाय हि भवन्ति परस्य पुंसो भक्त्या तुतोष भगवान् गजयूथपाया. Prahlad Maharaj continued, one may possess wealth, an aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic yogic power. But I think that even by all this qualification, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him. So, this also we discussed before. विप्रादिसद्गुणयुतादरविन्दनाभा पादारविन्दविमुखात् स्वपचं वरिष्ठं मन्ये तदर्पितमनोवचने हितार्था प्राणं पुनाति सकुलं न तु भूरिमानः. If a Brahmana has all 12 of the Brahminical qualifications as they are stated in the book called Sanat Sujat, but is not a devotee and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee who is a dog eater, but who has dedicated everything mind, words, activities, wealth, and life to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahman because the devotee can purify his whole family, whereas the so called Brahman, in a position of false prestige, cannot purify even himself. That's such a stark reality. नैवात्मना प्रभुरयं निजलाभपूर्णो मानं जनादविदुषः करुणो गृणीते यद्यज्जनो भगवते विदधीतमानं तच्चात्मने प्रतिमुखस्य यथा मुखश्री. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in Himself. Therefore, when something is offered to Him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee. For the Lord does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. तस्मादहं विगतविक्लव ईश्वरस्य सर्वात्मना महि गृणामि यथा मनीषं नीचो जया गुणविसर्गमनुप्रविष्टा पूयेत येन हि पुमान् अनुवर्णितेन. Therefore, although I was born in a demonic family, I may without a doubt offer prayers to the Lord with full endeavor, as far as my intelligence allows. Anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter the material world may be purified of material life if he offers prayers to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories. So, I think this all like his anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter the material world may be purified of the material life if he offers prayers to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories. So I'll stop here. We have 9 minutes remaining until if someone has question, reflections, or anything they want to share, this is the chance. Um, if anything devotees want to share, otherwise we can continue for the rest of the minutes the prayers. But I just wanted to stop and give like to hear from you if anyone has anything to share.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. You can put your comments online, or if you are in Zoom, you can always unmute and ask question or give your comments.
So Hare Krishna. Perfect. So I think so we'll continue with the rest of the prayers for remaining 8 minutes. So let's see. Wow. I'll just read the Sanskrit and wait it till wherever we can complete it. We'll go. So this 1 minute, I'll share my screen again. So all of you can also see. Okay. तस्मादहं विगतविक्लव ईश्वरस्य सर्वात्मना महि गृणामि यथा मनीषं नीचो जया गुणविसर्गमनुप्रविष्टा पूयेत येन हि पुमाननुवर्णितेन. सर्वे यमे विधिकरास्तव सत्त्वधाम्नो ब्रह्मादयो वयमिवेश न चोद्विजन्ता क्षेमाय भूताय हुतात्मसुखाय चास्य विक्रीडितं भगवतो रुचिरावतारे तद्यच्छमन्यमसुरश्च हतस्त्वयाद्या मोदेत साधुरपि वृश्चिकसर्पहत्या लोकाश्च निर्वृतिमिता प्रतियन्ति सर्वे रूपं नृसिंहमिभयाय जनाः स्मरन्ति नाहं बिभेमि अजितते अतिभयानकास्य जीवार्कनेत्रभ्रुकटिरभसोऽग्रदंष्ट्रात् आन्त्रस्रजा शतजकेसरशङ्कुकर्णान् निर निर्ह्रादभीत दिगिभातरिभिन्नखग्रात् त्रस्तोऽस्म्यहं कृपणवत्सलदुःसहोग्रा संसारचक्रकदनाद्ग्रसतां प्रणीता बद्धा स्वकर्मभिरुसत्तमतेऽङ्घ्रिमूलं प्रीतोपवर्गशरणं ह्यवसे कदा नु यस्मात् प्रिया प्रिया वियोग संयोग जन्म शोकाग्निना सकलयोनिषु दह्यमाना दुःखौषधं तदपि दुःखमतद्धियाहं भूमन् भ्रमामि वद मे तव दासयोगम् सोऽहं प्रियस्य सुहृदास परदैवताया लीलाकथास्तव नृसिंह विरिञ्च गीता अज्ञस्थितरमि अनुगृणन् गुणविप्रमुक्तो दुर्गाणि ते पदयुगलाय हंससङ्गा बालस्य नेह शरणं पितरो नरसिंहा नार्तस्य चागदमुदन्वति मज्जतो न तप्तस्य तत्प्रतिविधीर्य इहाञ्च ज्येष्ठास्तावद्विभो तनुभृतां तदुपेक्षितानां यस्मिन् यतो यर्ह्येन च यस्य यस्मात् यस्मै यथा यद ऊत्यस्त्वपरः परो वा भावः करोति विकरोति पृथक् स्वभावः सञ्चोदितस्तदखिलं भवता स्वरूपम् मायामनः सृजति कर्ममयं बलीया कालेन चोदितगुणानुमतेन पुंसा छन्दोमयं यदजयार्पितषोडसारं संसारचक्र अजको अतितरे त्वदन्या स त्वं हि नित्यविजितात्मगुणः स्वधाम्ना कालो वशीकृतविसृज्य विसर्गशक्ति चक्रे विसृष्टमजयेश्वर षोडसारे निष्पीड्यमानमुपकर्ष विभो प्रपन्नम् दृष्टा मया दिवि विभो अखिलधिष्ण्यपानाम् आयुश्रियो विभव इच्छति याञ्जनोऽयं यस्मत्पितुः कुपितः स विजृम्भिता भ्रू विस्फुर्जितेन लुलिता स तु ते निरस्ता तस्मादमुस्तनुभृतामहमाशिषोऽज्ञा आयुश्रियं विभवम् ऐन्द्रियम् आविरिञ्चात् नेच्छामि ते विलुलितानरुविक्रमेण कालात्मनोपनय मां निजभृत्य पार्श्वम् कुत्रासि सा धृतिसुखा मृगतृष्णिरूपा वेदं कलेवरमशेषरुजाम्बिरोहा निर्विद्यते न तु जनो यदपीति विद्वान् कामानलं मधुलभे समयं दुरापे क्वाहं रजा प्रभव ईशतमोऽधिकस्मिन् जाता सुरेतरकुल कुले क्व तवानुकम्पा न ब्रह्मणो न तु भवस्य न वैरमाया यन्मे अर्पिता शिरसि पद्मकर प्रसादा नैषा परावरमतिर्भवतो ननु स्याज् जन्तोर्यथात्मसुहृदो जगतस्तथापि संसेवया सुरतरोरिव ते प्रसादा सेवानुरूपमुदयो न परावतारम् परावरत्वम् एवं जनं निपतितं प्रभवाहि कूपे कामाभिकाममनुयः प्रपतन् प्रसङ्गात् कृत्वात्मसात् सुरऋषिणा भगवन् गृहीता सोऽहं कथं नु विसृजे तव भृत्यसेवाम् मत्प्राणरक्षणमनन्तपितुर्वधश्च मन्ये स्वभृत्य ऋषिवाक्यमृतां विधातुं खड्गं प्रगृह्य यद अवचोदसत् विधित्सु त्वाम् ईश्वरो मदपरो वतुकं हरामि एवम् एकस्त्वमेव जगतेतं अमुष्य यत्त्वम् आद्या अन्तयो पृथक् अवस्यसि माधयतश्च सृष्ट्वा गुणाव्यतिकरं निजमायेदं नानेव तैरवसितस्तदनुप्रविष्टा त्वं वा इदं सदसत् ईशभावांस्ततोऽन्यो माया यदात्मपरबुद्धिरियं य अपार्था यद्यस्य जन्म निधनं स्थितिरीक्षणं च तद् वैताद् एव वसुकलावद् अष्टि तरवो Hare Krishna. So yeah, will it goes from 32 onwards till verse number 50. 50, and that is the remaining prayers. But since we are reaching to the end of our session, I'll stop here. Thank you once again for joining everyone to this Wednesday evening class from ISKCON of Silicon Valley. I'm so grateful that you given your um, time to come to this class and here, and also to our dear Ashray Madhav Prabhu for kindly hosting this event. In his busy schedule, he's never miss. I think I'm sure that in most of the Wednesday, Prabhu takes out his time and and do this service before without fail. So thank you so much, Ashray Madhav Prabhu, for being the host, and we'll take leave. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhu. Thank you for this class and particularly the Prahlad Maharaja's verses, right? It makes us so humble that we are often proud of our many of our qualities, working in tech and in Silicon Valley and all those things with big houses and all. And Prahlad Maharaj saying none of these are important. What's more important is like, how much your devotion you have to the Supreme Lord, because everything else is transitory and Lord doesn't get pleased by all this. He says very clearly. And we saw the example, right? All these big demigods, they gave such fluent intellectual prayers, but the Nrsimhadev was still, very angry. And so this is very interesting. Thank you for sharing all the Prahlad Maharaj's prayers today. Very good.
Hare Krishna. Thanks to Srila Prabhupada and all his disciples to giving us this knowledge um, and and making avail this Bhagavatam, which is the Amal Puran and Bhagavad Gita and all the Vedic literatures to the Vyasdev, who has compiled this all literature for all of us. Hare Krishna. So
Bharat
see
Prabhu
you.
ki jai,
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
The Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll yeah, look forward for this. We have very exciting week. We have the Harinam on the Friday evening in the Palo Alto in our Leighton Plaza. Please join us at 6:59 p.m. It will be a nice Harinam Kirtan party, and then we have Saturday class morning in the temple by His Grace Vaishishika Prabhu. There is an exciting drama waiting on the Saturday afternoon in Sunnyvale by the ISV drama team on Ramayan, and then we have Sunday feast at Friday at Sunday afternoon 3:30 p.m. So Hare Krishna, have a wonderful, fantastic rest of the week, and see you in some of the event. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ashramada Prabhu, once again. Hare Bol.
Mm. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for taking time and joining this session from your busy times. We'll meet again on the next Wednesday.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यः कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः आनंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.
Thank you.
Thank you.